My 33F husband, 33M, supported me in my dream, and 13 years later I discovered his infidelity. Sorry for my English. I met my husband when we were 18. We hit it off instantly. We started dating as friends, and about 2 months later he officially asked me out. Like stupid teenagers. We secretly got married at 20 and moved in together. Our families thought he was my boyfriend, not my husband. We were both at the same university at night, and in the mornings we had a job. My dream since I was very little was always to be a dancer, but my parents couldn't afford to pay for an academy. They are too expensive, and my parents also think that these types of hobbies are a great waste of time, that it is better to study and then get a good job, then get a house, and then get married. They wanted to reflect what they couldn't have in me and my brothers. My husband told me that he was going to help me. He paid for my dance classes. He changed jobs to a heavier one, but the pay was a little better. We had to limit ourselves to many things and even move to a much smaller apartment. He helped me fulfill my dream. He never complained about the lack of money. He never blamed me. He supported me to get ahead, and I achieved it. Of course, at the age of 20 it is a little more difficult to learn this type of art. But I achieved it thanks to my husband. I was always grateful to him, and I always will be. Now we are in a much better situation than before. We have our house and we plan to have children soon. Perhaps when we are 35, to be able to save a little more and cover the necessary expenses that a child requires. Since we have each other's passwords, I grabbed his cell phone because he had the photos from my niece's last birthday. I saw, and he had his cell phone in airplane mode. When I took it off, a few minutes passed and several messages began to fall. The contact had a man's name, but the messages were a little strange. They could be read in the notification bar. The messages: not exactly. Honey, are you home yet? Quote, write to me when you can. I checked the number and it was one of my friends. I had deleted his conversation with her, so I took a screenshot of the last messages she sent. I told him that same night, and he started asking for forgiveness and crying. We both cried. He hurt me so much. He confessed that it has been going on for about 5 months. My friend and he work together, so they started getting closer now that she got divorced. He said that he is going to cut off all communication with her, and if I want he change his job, he will do it. I mentioned divorce and he became hysterical, begging me to give him a second chance. I really lost trust in him, and a certain part of me wants a divorce. But another part of me really loves him, and I'm so grateful to him for supporting me years ago that a certain part of me is holding me back from making a decision. In recent days he has been coming home early from work. He brings me flowers and chocolates. He initiates intimacy every night. My libido is pretty high, but we only did it once a week because he was tired. Should I forgive him and move forward in the marriage? Can that trust be recovered? I have seen that many marriages recover after infidelity, and that it can be done with marriage therapy. P.S. I already got tested for STDs and I'm clean. With a friend of yours. No less? IDK. Probably that part of you that wants a divorce is going to win out once he gets tired of groveling. I will caution that cheaters always turn to love bombing after being caught, and they do everything you had been wanting them to do before you find out, but it disappears after a few months and it'll turn to I've been doing ABC, you should have forgiven me by now. Please seek infidelity counseling. You need to evaluate the person he is now, not the person he was 13 years ago. The person he is now cheated on you for 5 months and would still be doing it had you not caught him. He is now love bombing you, but eventually that will turn to resentment that you haven't forgiven him yet. The truth is, the trust never comes back. It's about what you're willing to accept. Are you willing to be with someone that would do this to you? How does getting you chocolate and having sex with you make up for this? You also only heard his story. You should talk to the friend and find out how this happened. My guess is he left a lot out. Op. The final choice is yours, and only you know if you can and want to forgive him and forget all of this happened or not. But if I was you, I'd think about 3 important things. 1. He cheated on you for 5 months. Not 1 time. Not 2 times. 5 months. He chose to cheat on you. He did it consciously. And he did it with a friend of yours too. There's no love in these actions. 2. The affair isn't going on anymore only because you discovered it. If you didn't see the messages, he probably would have never told you. And who knows how long this affair would have lasted. Again, no sign of real and genuine love. 3. He is giving you chocolate, flowers, and is initiating intimacy because he was discovered and now wants you to forgive him. He couldn't care less before. You don't owe him anything. He was a great partner and he supported you greatly. And you can be thankful for what he did, but this doesn't mean you have to stay with him. Think about what he did now, not what he did years ago. Cheating is a big deal breaker for me. But that's my opinion. If you want to try counseling, do it and see how it goes. But keep in mind that you have every right to leave if you want. And you'd be right in doing so. If it was one drunk moment maybe. But you are talking about at least 5 months or lying and cheating. With lots of effort to hide. It wasn't just an error in judgment. He might be a good friend who supported you, might definitely an untrustworthy partner. You say it wasn't lack of sex in your part who drove home away, so perhaps she finds something more desirable somewhere else. How you can make sure he won't do it again? What has changed on him other than being not too careful and caught? Hadn't you read the messages? How far they would go? If you could answer all these questions and feel you can trust him again, good for you. If you're going to stay, you will need counseling to help you both get through this. Otherwise it will lead to distrust and resentment. Dude needs to prove that this isn't just love bombing, that he is going to put the work in to save your relationship. As for that friend, let her know what she did was betrayal and you will not accept this. He needs to cut her out of his life and you should too. He's only begging for forgiveness because you caught him. My answer would be different if he came to you willingly and confessed, but he didn't. He lied and betrayed you and never meant for you to know. You don't owe him anything even if he did support your dream. He also betrayed your marriage vows. Let's put it this way. He continuously lied to you for months to sleep with your friend. He put your sexual health at risk and he knew that this would risk your marriage. He was an active participant in this affair and did not even come clean about it but was caught. It was selfless of him to support you in your career, but you don't owe him a relationship after such a betrayal. Marriage is a continuous investment, not just a net positive spreadsheet. If he didn't want a divorce, he wouldn't have slept with your friend. Nah. Think about how you'd feel if you walked in on them having sex. And he said, sorry, but you owe it to me to stay. 'Cause I paid your way through school. You'd be offended, right? Something great he did years ago does not overshadow the ultimate betrayal of your marriage. He started this months ago and didn't even tell you a hoot it. You had to find out. And it was with your friend no less. Get out of there. No. He lied to you for 5 months. He looked you in the eyes and lied to you after coming from that woman's place. Where was his love then? Where was this remorse then? People like your husband, cheaters who start an affair, rarely change. This wasn't a single mistake. He continued to do it. He did something selfless for you because he loved you. That was beautiful and you will always be thankful. But you don't owe him and you shouldn't compromise your sanity for it. You will forever be grateful. But move on. This affair was ongoing for 5 months. He only told you because you found out. He betrayed you with your friend. Hard to guess what he wouldn't do to you. Do you want to spend the rest of your life wondering what his limits are? Thankfully you have no kids. Go find someone who wouldn't betray you like this. Sorry you're going through this. IDK man, if he hid it and continued it for 5 months, then that's pretty bad. Says a lot about his character. Who knows what else he could be hiding. I have never understood the concept of forgiveness with cheating. To me it means pretending a person didn't do what they purposely and maliciously or at least callously did. I'd be curious to know if the only reason he's ending it, if he actually does, is because you found out? If so, I'd be inclined to not want to stick around, because he's only feeling guilty about you finding out and getting hurt, and not about the infidelity itself. In recent days he has been coming home early from work. He brings me flowers and chocolates. He initiates intimacy every night. My libido is pretty high, but we only did it once a week because he was tired. I too can keep an act up like this for a few weeks. Don't trust someone who tells you they love you, when they are so easily on hurting you. He supported you greatly for 13 years. From your post, I gathered, he was rather selfless about it. As he prioritized your dreams, this does not matter. You owe him forgiveness for his affair. However, I think that you at least shouldn't rush to make a decision on this. In recent days he has been coming home early from work. He brings me flowers and chocolates. He initiates intimacy every night. My libido is pretty high, but we only did it once a week because he was tired. Detestable example of love bombing. By the way, how long is it that he was tired? He can claim this affair lasted only 5 months, but it is not like you can trust him right now. You both were very young when you got together, and as you grow older you change. Could it be like yourself, he is not wanting divorce because he is holding on to the past? How long would he have kept this affair going, and would he have ever told you until you did your own checking? Has he done this before but never got caught? You can still love and be grateful to someone as well as divorce them. You can still love what you thought they were. What is he doing towards reconciliation other than love bombing? He needs to go for individual counseling and possibly marriage counseling for you both. He purposely hid the relationship with your friend from you for 5 months and only came clean because you found out. He wasn't going to tell you himself. He only has remorse because he was caught, not because of what he did. He is love bombing you, and that won't last much longer. It never does. You have time to start afresh. Take that opportunity. His support when you were younger doesn't cancel out him cheating on you. 5 months, that's a whole relationship, and been found out rather than been honest and telling you. I'm not sure how you would work through that hurt of his willingness to just discard the damage he did to your relationship.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.